Hello warriors, welcome to the channel. The channel caters to English medium aspirants preparing for general studies for their UPSC exam. I am Monica and the topic we are going to discuss today is making headlines for past 1 week. If you have read the newspaper, you will see that various government ministries are coming up with guidelines to make the entire society or the governance inclusive. I am talking about inclusive banking, inclusive governance. And the topic we are going to discuss today is about LGBTQ communities getting their due rights. The rights which they received recently is on joint bank accounts and getting ration cards. So let's discuss what the news is and let us discuss what all government initiatives could be taken in the future and what else could be done about them. I'll also discuss about the various Supreme Court rulings in this regard, and then we'll see if we are moving towards a more inclusive society. At the end, I have also mentioned some examples which you can quote in your essay and ethics paper regarding LGBTQ communities getting their due representation and making good of career choices. So let's begin. So LGBTQ communities, the news here is Department of Financial Services, that is Ministry of Finance, has allowed this community to get joint bank accounts and nominate their partners. As nominee, they can nominate their partners. Similarly, Ministry of Consumer Affairs allowed LGBTQ couples to be included in ration cards. So these are some guidelines. There is one more about Health Ministry allowing LGBTQ or queer couple to claim the body of the descendants. So these are some guidelines which came in the last week. So here we need to understand why all of a sudden we are seeing this article. It doesn't happen overnight. A lot of things happen behind it. So in this video, we are going to understand what are the Supreme Court directions regarding this. But before we move forward, let us understand some basic things. What is LGBTQ community? I know most of you are aware of it, but for the sake of coverage, I'll explain it here also. It is an acronym we can clearly see. LGBTQ plus, it's an acronym. The expanded form of it is LGBTQIA, where L stands for women, L stands for lesbian, women liking women. G stands for gay, men liking men. B stands for bisexual, people who like both the genders, men and women. T stands for transgenders. Transgenders are persons whose sex assigned by birth, they don't identify with it. Q stands for queer or questioning. They are the people who haven't figured out their sexual orientation yet. So this is the acronym. The plus here denotes that there might be people who we are not aware of, but they should be included in this acronym. So plus denotes inclusivity. Similarly, here IA stands for I stands for intersex, A stands for asexual. So there are some people. Intersex means the people whose reproductive organs doesn't define their gender, and A stands for asexual, people who are not who doesn't have sexual drives. So this is the meaning of the term. Now that we have understood LGBTQ plus or LGBTQIA plus, let us see the statistics and how big of a problem we have. So it's like 10% of India's population belongs to this community, and it's a significant number. We can't ignore this population, we can't deny them their rights, because they are a significant part of our population, and they deserve to be appreciated, they deserve to have rights, and they deserve to be accepted by the community. So 10% of our population belongs to this LGBTQ community, which comes out to be around 135 million. Also, there is one more data related to it which I wanted to highlight, that is 25 lakh gay population lives in India, and out of which 7% have HIV. One thing to note here is gay population have significant cases of HIV, and if we don't accept them in the society, they won't come out for taking health measures with this respect. So that is also a big concern which we need to cater. Moving forward, now that we have understood the statistics and the meaning of LGBTQ community, will understand important Supreme Court rulings which allowed for homosexuality, which decriminalized homosexuality, but denied the same-sex marriage rights. So let us understand the important rulings here. The first judgment is Navteej Singh Johar judgment. It came in 2018. This judgment was a landmark judgment because it decriminalized homosexuality. That means it accepted LGBTQ community in India. It's a landmark judgment and everyone appreciated it. However, the next logical step once you accept homosexuality is to give them the marriage rights. But in the marriage equality case in 2023, Supreme Court denied or didn't legalize the same-sex marriage. The reason Supreme Court gave was marriage is not a fundamental right, so it comes under the realm of Parliament and state legislature to move forward with this initiative. So they want Parliament to step forward for this. Also, if they change the definition of the marriage and allow same-sex marriages, almost 160 laws needed to be changed. 160 laws is a significant number. Hence, Supreme Court said that it is the duty of Parliament to do it. However, Supreme Court issued some guidelines or asked government to do some initiatives to make the society more inclusive. This judgment created uproar among LGBTQ community because they expected it to be the next logical step after accepting homosexuality. The acceptance of homosexuality came by declaring Section 377 unconstitutional. Now that Supreme Court gave direction to the government, the directions were to form a committee which will work on the how much of entitlements will allow for LGBTQ community to have, and as soon as we give them the rights, we make the society a better place to live. So a 6-member committee formed after the Supreme Court direction. This committee is chaired by Cabinet Secretary. There are other secretaries also of different departments. You can tell me in the comment section if you are aware of it, what all members are there in this. This chair, I have mentioned that Cabinet Secretary is the chair of this committee. Now this committee decides on entitlement and they give the directions to various ministries, and because of which ministries are making efforts to include or to give LGBTQ communities their rights. And that is why we are seeing that Department of Financial Services allow for joint bank accounts. Similarly, Ministry of Consumer Affairs allowed for Ration card. So these are the reasons because of which we are moving towards LGBTQ entitlements. Hope you have understood it till now. Now we are moving forward with what else could be done. See, there are various issues related to LGBTQ community, and there are some issues which hasn't been addressed yet. So we are expecting government to take initiatives on these aspects as well. The first and foremost is marriage equality, because Supreme Court said that it is the responsibility of Parliament. So we want Parliament to take charge of it and move towards marriage equality. By default, after marriage comes adoption rights, because LGBTQ communities can plan their family around it. So we want adoption rights to be given to them as well. Then anti-discrimination laws. LGBTQ community suffers from discrimination, stigma, stereotypes and whatnot at workplace, at educational institutes. So we want some anti-discrimination laws so they can be benefited, or there are some punishments against it. Then we want sensitization campaigns to work for social acceptability. Our society is not very acceptable to these people. So we want some sensitization campaigns so that we move towards an inclusive India. And lastly, drug abuse is a significant problem among LGBTQ communities. So we need to cater drug addiction as well. We need to counter this addiction as well. So these are some areas of improvement or areas of work which government should take a lead on. However, the initiatives which have been taken are a step in right direction and we totally welcome it. Moving forward, as we have discussed the issues, I just want you to have a thought that if we move towards an inclusive India, the change comes from within. We need to be more acceptable to all kinds of humans and we need to work towards better India. It's not just the responsibility of government, it's the responsibility for all of us. So government is doing its part, we need to do our part as well. And with that thought, I'm going to end my presentation. But before that, I need to mention two examples which I promised you in the beginning. Saurabh Kirpal is openly gay senior advocate of Delhi High Court. He is expected to be promoted as a judge of Delhi High Court. So this is one example you can quote in your answer. The other is Joyita Mondal. She is first transgender judge. She is a judge at Lok Adalat. So you can mention these examples. You can add yours also. But with that, we have come to the end of our video. Hope you liked it, and if you liked it, do let us know in the comment section, and like, share, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.